where do you allow your boundaries to get crossed, and where do you personally overstep your boundaries to the point that you're feeling taxed, tired, and that you're in a higher emotionally triggered state. Yeah. So often we can either, due to the lack of enthusiasm of what we're doing, or the drive to get something done, or wanting to make someone else happy and avoid conflict. Those are some really top reasons when we overstep our own boundaries, forget to self-source, and it actually creates more separation rather than connection, which what we want, right, is connection, which is, or we want to share stuff in the world. So a few things that I love to do to kind of challenge myself and do some self-inquiry is to ask myself, okay, so what am I doing right now in my life, present moment, because it could change next week, because our state, our environment, and the activities we're involved in will change. So this present moment, what are the activities that I'm saying yes to? Which one of those really add fuel to my present day life? Do I feel energized afterwards? Do I wake up feeling refreshed the next day by doing this? Do I feel alive and vibrant and turned on by doing this? So those are some questions. Make a list of where you're saying yes, specific activities, and how they make you feel. The next column that you're going to make is you're going to pick out of that list the things that you're saying yes to, that you're noticing present moment, they're just not adding to your life. They might be fun, you might love doing them, they might feel really good while you do them, yet you're noticing maybe your capacity is a little bit lower or your attention is elsewhere, that they're actually taking away from your life, right? They're de-energizing you, leaving you in more of that emotional triggered state because you're tired. After you've made that list, now the fun comes in, now the communication part comes in. If it involves a loved one, a family member, a friend who, because of the lack of clarity or because of the lack of your clarity, have easily overstepped your boundary over and over again, which added to the lack of energy and fuel, right? So it took away from the quality of life, it took away from the quality of your relationship. How do you express this to them where they potentially might be more open to receiving it rather than taking it personally? Well, the first thing that I love to do is I'm a list builder. So make a list of the ways you appreciate this person and or people. And if it's based on certain requests or needs of them, having that reflection of, wow, like what really juices you up about meeting that need. Maybe they have a need to be listened to more, or to share more intimate things with you, or to have certain conversations with you. Well, what really juices you up to be part of those conversations? Maybe it's because you love to see them happy and you want to be present for them. So get really clear on what that is, because you're going to share that with them. You want to start that conversation by really letting them know that you appreciate them, letting them know that you really understand their need for what they're asking for. And the next step is for you to clearly express that your need, right? So that the way that they're asking for what they're needing might not be adding to your fuel, which means you have less capacity for them and they really want you present, like that's what they want. So share with them that, wow, I'm noticing that, I really love seeing you in your joy, and I understand that what you're sharing is really valuable and actually important, so I want to be a part of that. But what I'm noticing is because I have X, Y, and Z, it might be business related, it might be other activities, but because this week I have all of this on my plate, I'm actually noticing I'm so exhausted that I have less capacity. And so that means, like, when I'm with you, I'm not as present as you deserve me to be. So I'd love to create a win-win of how I can be more present to you and how I can also have more capacity for the workload that I'm taking on or the projects I'm taking on this week. So I'd love to get super creative with you. So you might have noticed in that conversation that it was acknowledging, you want to acknowledge and appreciate them and their need, their desire to have that need met, and that they deserve to have that need met. Next is you're acknowledging your own need. You're acknowledging the why that need is important to be met, and that you're taking responsibility by creating this to fulfilling that need of yours. That then opens up a field now where you two can choose to co-create and have fun. Co-create what's going to work in this moment. Maybe it's being clear, like, wow, our personal conversations or this need of yours to be met in this conversation, could we have it between a certain time period? Can we have it outside of my timeline when I'm focusing on this project or my work related stuff? Or maybe it's a certain location that you want to isolate that engagement to, that share between the two of you. And maybe it's a request saying, well, like, I'm noticing between these hours, I would love to have absolute privacy because it puts me more in my creative juice, and this big project's super important for me. So again, you're appreciating each other. You're both having a space where your needs are acknowledged and also seen as valuable, like they deserve to be met, and co-creating a win-win situation. So you're creating greater connection rather than separation, exhaustion, and that emotionally triggered state.